Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Jen. Welcome to Dave and Jen Ignite.
Today we're going to cover a topic that is very, very important, but you can also laugh and have some fun with. And this is a beginner's guide to victory over comparison. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were thinking about some things that sometimes we got caught up in perhaps comparing. As you know, I'm a pastor, or if you don't know, I am a pastor. And one of the things that we pastors tend to compare, even when we don't want to, and when we say it's not important, or at least it's not the most important thing.
They say that.
We do say it, and I think we really do believe it, but it's so hard not to compare. Hey, what size is your congregation? How many members do you have? How many are in weekly attendance? How many small groups do you have? All kinds of things, the measuring sticks that sometimes get used by pastors for that kind of stuff. And so we get caught up in the comparison game sometimes.
Yeah, well, and it's easy to do for anyone who is in front of people. I do a lot of performing, and I compare myself with others. I don't really like to, and I don't want to, but I do. Say, oh, so-and-so did that really, really well, or, oh, I wish I could do something quite like they do, or do I do it better than they do? I mean, there's all kinds of ways that those subtleties can kind of come in. And we were talking earlier about some of the funny things that we compare ourselves about, and one of mine is this is really dumb, but I compare myself to other redheads and say, oh, my hair is like really frizzy. Why is their hair so nice and thick and just straight? I know. And I've got blonde eyelashes that don't show up unless I have mascara. And I compare myself to other redheads that happen to have, a little darker complexion, and they don't deal with that. I know, it's really silly, but that's what I do.
I mean, how do you improve on the most beautiful woman in the world?
Oh, isn't he sweet?
And that part just is.
Aw,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Comparisons. I find myself, I have a pickup truck, a Ford F-150, and it's got a little rust behind the passenger door. It's a crew cab. And I find myself looking at other pickup trucks and comparing pickup trucks. Is it?
No,
I do.
it's good.
Okay. Oh, is that an F-250 or a 350? I wonder what kind of engine that is.
Yeah.
And I'm not a real big auto person. I can't talk a lot about the engine and all those kinds of things. But oh, that's a platinum. That'd be nice. So sometimes get caught up in that comparison.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because sometimes comparison can almost fall into envy, and where we're comparing ourselves to people and we go, ooh, I kind of want what they have. So it moves itself away from just comparing ourselves with others to almost envying.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Because you envy.
Oh, I want to have
that 250.
Oh, platinum?
Envious.
Ooh, yes. Thank you, Lord, for what we have.
And that's the key, to be content. And we'll get to that here in a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's some other ways and some more subtle ways that we tend to fall into the comparison trap. And having victory over that comparison mindset is not always easy. Just look at social media. You might say, oh, well, so-and-so had 25 likes on that picture and I only had 12.
Yeah.
I mean, really? It doesn't really matter the fact that I only have 5 friends on Facebook. So I mean, not really. but those.
I have 10. Whoa.
Oh, he must be popular. But it's really funny because we find ourselves doing that and we don't think of it in terms of comparison. But sometimes we fall into that trap, and it's kind of dangerous trap to get into. Really.
It is. You can never win that game.
No, that's true. Yeah.
YouTube. How many subscribers do you have? I mean, you can look down below here and just see how many subscribers we have, and compared to 7,000 or 100,000 or 1,000,000 or whatever it may be.
We were so excited to reach 100.
Yes.
We have reached 100.
We have reached
That's what I
100.
thought. Okay, I thought we had, but it's easy to compare ourselves. Oh, what can we do differently so we can get more subscribers? Doesn't matter that perhaps we want to make sure and keep the content true to our value system, true to our mission statement, but we just want to get more. So we compare ourselves and we think, what can we do? And again, we might fall into a trap of doing things that we shouldn't do just because we're comparing ourselves with others, comparing our channel or whatever it might be.
Yeah, and another one for me is preaching. A number of my friends are pastors, and so once in a while, I will watch them on YouTube or Facebook Live or whatever it is, and just say, Man, I wish I could preach like that. Comparison kills.
It does. It does, and it can really be defeating when we allow ourselves to fall into that and to do it more and more, because there's no victory in it.
No.
But we're going to hopefully help us each, including ourselves, to win some of those victories. And be aware that there are some really subtle ways too that we can fall into comparison. For example, you may or may not have heard people just spill out their entire schedule. I'm doing this, and it's like, well,
I'm just so busy.
I'm so busy. We're all busy. And so then you find yourself, well, I'm doing this. Oh, I'm doing this. And it's like you have to have the last word. There's comparison there. It's comparison. People want, maybe it's because they want to feel important and let you know, I'm so busy, or I just can't do that for you because I'm just too busy. Well, we're all busy, and doing that is kind of a comparison in reverse. Does that make sense?
Does to me.
And it's a little grating on my nerves when I hear people continually saying that they're doing this, and this. Well, after I do this, I have to do that. And I have to guard myself because I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that to other people. And if I do that to you, I apologize. I don't want to do that. I want to say, hey, sure, I can do that, or no, I'm sorry, I can't. Instead of, well, I have this to do, because then whoever you're talking to goes, ooh, it makes them feel bad. Because maybe they're not doing as many things as you are, and there's that comparison gets in there, and it's not healthy. It's just not healthy.
Yeah. Another one might be just hardships in life. Oh, we've had to go through this, or we've had to go through that, and it's a comparison of even hardships. Once again, it's not oh man, I have this and that in a positive way. It's a comparison of the negatives in life.
Yes.
And so it's a different way of looking at it. It's kind of like that person who seeks attention, and if they can't get it with positive comments, they'll get it with the negative comments. And so you have to watch out.
Yes, very much.
And so now we're trying to give you a beginner's guide here. So just one more little subtle thing. Families.
Yes. Let's face it, we compare children. We do. We don't think we do, but we do. Look at Facebook, because what do we usually put on Facebook? It's all the good stuff. And I think we're all kind of aware of that. We know we don't put our kids who have snotty noses down here, or that we don't.
Or that act out.
Or act out. And we don't, you know what, we shouldn't. If we are relying on social media for our measuring stick, we are in really bad shape.
Yeah.
Our kids are amazing. Your kids are amazing. We don't have to compare who's smarter, how they were raised, how they were schooled. There's no comparison there. You do what's best, the way God has led you, to care for and lead and guide and direct your children. Yeah. And don't worry about what other people are doing. Celebrate what they're doing, and then be really confident with what you're doing as well. And that doesn't mean our kids are going to be great. I mean, sometimes we think, man, I wish my family was more intact like theirs is. That's just reality. Yeah. But to not allow ourselves to feel badly because ours are not like that.
Yeah. So here's one of those beginner tips.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's great. Don't start comparing.
Right.
That's a bit unrealistic, I think.
Yeah.
We're probably going to get caught up in comparing. So don't start if you can avoid starting. But if you find yourself comparing, say, oh, I don't need to do this. And I think it's important to say it that way. I don't need to do this. Right. I don't need to be better than somebody else. The criteria is not, that's whoever or whatever that is out there is not the criteria. The criteria is, am I doing the absolute best with what the Lord has given me? And if I'm doing the best I know to do with what the Lord has given me, then that's going to be victory.
Absolutely.
And I don't have to compare. Oh, but I'm not doing as well as my friends over there. Sometimes it's a comparison on finances. That's not the criteria. No. The criteria is not how our friends are doing or social media or anything else. Am I doing the best with what I have, and am I using that for the Lord to the best of my abilities?
Because we're all gifted differently. And there's certain things that I wish I could do, and I watch people do it, and I think, oh wow, they're really good at that. I'm not very good at that. That's really okay because they're wired differently. They're gifted differently. The gifts and talents that we have, and people will say to me, "I wish I could sing like you." I said, "You've got so many other things that you that you can do. So you don't need to sing like me.
No.
You don't. Absolutely do not. You do what." Serve where you are. Use those talents, those abilities, those gifts, those graces that God has put in you, and do them to the very best of your ability. And then I'll be going, oh, I wish I could, draw like you, whatever it might be. Believe me, I cannot draw worth anything. So, but those are kinds of things that if we start saying, oh, I wish I could do that like you do, that tears us down.
Yeah.
Tells us, and we compare ourselves a lot of the time. We put ourselves in that situation as opposed to other people trying to put us there.
Yeah.
But that does happen too. People will.
People sometimes try to put you down.
Yeah, or try to make themselves look better by putting you down.
And I think sometimes it's more that.
Yeah.
They're just, believe it or not, some of the folks who you might be comparing yourself to feel inadequate, and that's why there's the comparison thing going on.
Yes,
There's
that's
a
true.
feeling of inadequacy on their part. So again, first, don't start.
Right.
Second, when you realize you're starting to compare, say, oh, I need to let this go. Thirdly, be content.
Yeah.
Be grateful for what you have.
Yes.
And in this Fight Club group that I'm in, our memory verse this week is Philippians 4, 12 and 13. And I'm going to read that out here. I know what it is to be in need. I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all this through Him who gives me strength, through Jesus Christ who gives me strength. Philippians 4, 12 and 13. So let's just go back to some of those things.
The secret of being content is being able to do all things through Christ. That's the secret of being content, knowing that He will give us the strength to get through whatever we need to.
Yeah.
And not just to barely survive, but to get through it and thrive. And when we start comparing ourselves, we are on a path that is going to lead us away from that wonderful contentment that is found through Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Because whatever the comparison is, that's not God's criteria.
That's right. That's right.
He's not using that measuring stick. It goes back to, the secret of, I've learned to be content. I'm going to do the best with what I have. And I will say, one illustration that I can think of is, I was a high school assistant wrestling coach for a number of years, and we had a wrestler who I knew had more in him than what he was doing. I mean, as a coach, sometimes there are certain athletes who, there's more there, but they aren't accessing it. And so you're not comparing them to somebody else, you're looking at, hey, what can I do? What can this person do? As their coach, that's my responsibility to help them get the best out of themselves. And my responsibility to help them get that out for the team as well. And one of the proudest days of coaching was in sectionals. He was a senior. It was sectional finals, and he didn't make it to first and second, but he was wrestling for third or fourth. And in that particular sectional, only first and second went on. This third and fourth match wasn't going to make a difference for going to regionals. But I was so proud of him when he gave a second effort and won that match. I mean, that was just one of the most joyous times for me as a coach. Now, we had other wrestlers who did far better, but for me, seeing him excel and do that was fantastic. So he didn't do nearly as well as some of the other wrestlers, but that's not the point. That's not the comparison. There is no comparison.
Right.
Other than, am I doing the best with what I've got for the Lord?
Right. And if you're not, then bump it up. Raise the bar.
Yes.
Raise the bar. Ask the Lord, okay, what can I do that's going to help me to develop these gifts, these abilities in myself? And sometimes you just have to take it up to the next work level. Raise that bar is another expression for in sports, but we like that because you don't want to just stay here. You want to keep raising it, even if it's a little bit. And then you will feel confident enough in yourself. I will feel confident enough in myself that I don't have to look around and see what everybody else is doing, because I know that I am where God wants me to be, and that I'm doing what He wants me to do to the very best of my abilities.
Yeah. Going back to the singing, I will never sing as well as Jennifer.
But that's okay.
It is okay. It is okay.
Yeah.
But I like to sing, and I can sing. I'm just not at that level, and that's okay. The key here is, am I doing the best with what I've got? Once again, it goes back to, am I doing the best for the Lord with what I've got? Never be in her league, and that's okay. You don't have to be where somebody else is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's set you free right now. You don't have to be where somebody else is. You just need to be the best that you can be with what the Lord has given to you. Put it to the best use possible.
And He'll help you. He'll
Yeah.
give you the strength you need to do it.
Absolutely. And He loves you no matter what.
Oh, absolutely.
So take some satisfaction in that. Yeah, He loves you no matter what. All right, I have one question for you. Anything else, Jen?
No,
Okay.
not today.
What do you find yourself comparing in your life? Are you comparing yourself to others in regard to whatever? You know, what kind of things do you feel yourself getting caught up in comparing?
May I just say that sometimes the way our world is wired, like in jobs and situations, they kind of set us up for comparison.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're in sales,
Oh.
you are really lined up against everybody else, and that's tough.
Are you the number one salesperson this year?
Exactly.
This month.
Exactly. And so that can be tough, but the principles are still the same.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing what you can to the very best of your abilities? And if you're comparing yourself in your job, that's one of those answers that Dave just asked about, or with finances, or I'm a teacher. Am I teaching to the very best of my abilities? And am I doing what I can do to make sure that I'm serving the Lord where He wants me to be, and not worrying about if I'm measuring up to what somebody else is doing, because I'm not them, they're not me.
Yeah. Maybe we've raised some extra questions, or maybe there's some things that we've said that you thought, can you expound on that? Please put that in the comments below as well, as answering that question, where do you find yourself making comparisons? Comparison does kill. Don't worry, let it go. Let it go.
That's right, that's right.
So, if you're finding value in these videos, please click like, subscribe.
Then we'll have 101 subscribers. Or
Yeah, but ring the bell if you want to continue to receive, notifications that new videos come out and those kinds of things. So we're grateful for you to be here. Grateful that you stuck it out here to the very end, and remembering that comparison kills, but the Lord loves you right where you are and will help you be the best you can be, and that's all you have to be.
that's right. And you can have victory over the comparison bug.
Yes. Well, we hope that's a helpful beginner's guide. Until we get to see each other again, I'm Dave.
I'm Jen. Lord bless you.
May it be so.